your money on rent. Well, what are you doing gambling in Las Vegas? That's a different $100. That's the problem with a fungible good. It's like water, right? Water goes into a giant bucket. Once you put a cup of water in, you can't get that same cup of water back out. It's fungible. It goes in with all the other water. That's how cash works in a business. And so what he's saying is when they put that fungible cash into the 501c4, it then freed up other cash for them to do this, whatever else they want to do. Pay salaries, electronic communication, general voter education, whatever it was. I bet you they would argue what they did is account for that internally. That's my guess is what they would argue, but they haven't done that yet. So I view that one as kind of a, TPUSA, you guys screwed up because you were being cute, and you guys were trying to move money around in a weird way. And had you just
got some tea. Thank you for stopping in. I'm just going to chat, and I'm going to do some gaming. And then in about an hour, I'm going to sign off and go do the piggy.
Sharing it again. Not screwing up today, boys and girls. No.
Right now, I'm listening to Baron Coleman. Baron Coleman, right there.
They really should have just reached out to him directly and said, hey, could you dial that back just a hair? And my guess is he'd have been like, yeah, I probably could. I mean, I would. If it was legitimate, I would. If I legitimately made a mistake, sure, I'll dial it back. Here's what happened, my opinion. On November 30th, I posted a video called Explosive, More Fraud at Turning Point USA. They say these are false claims. There was more fraud at Turning Point USA. I assume they are referring to the title of the video here. They, of course, are saying that there is no fraud at Turning Point USA. The content of the video is me going over the evidence of fraud and sharing my opinion. Now, technically, a true statement would be that no one has been convicted of fraud at Turning Point USA, but whether fraud is going on right now is an opinion. This is what happens in every criminal court case. If you want his full explanation, go to the video. It's fantastic. He does a great job. But I don't want to play his whole video, right? I want to tempt with you. I want to analyze you. I want you to give him a follow. I want you to give him a subscribe. I want you to throw him $5. I think he has a $6 membership or something like that. So Apple tax on their fee.
Yeah, he has like a $5 member, $6 membership, and then a $60 membership.
This is why I think this is the first close call. When you say there's more fraud at TPUSA,
I look kind of weird.
The allegation is that fraud.
Let me look at the screen.
And you have uncovered even more.
I gotta get a better light.
I think has Tyler Boyer or even the lawyer or
look how grumpy I look. I look grumpy.
Guy at TPUSA, they just picked up the phone and called him and said, "Hey Zach, your title bothers us because it suggests that fraud has been proven. Can you change the title? Can you, in your video, can you just make it clear that that's not been proven, that there's been no finding of fraud?" My guess is that he just said, "Yeah, I can do that. That's not a problem. It's not that hard."
Oops, I had the wrong thing up.
I really think he would have been.
Gosh darn it.
And they probably.
Right there.
I don't want to say they were right to raise the issue on this, but I think they probably, I would be upset if somebody said I was committing fraud and I wasn't. That would bother me. And so, I won't say I think they're on the. I don't think they're on the here, but I think they're probably people would understand why they don't want to be accused of fraud. I would say that. I'll say that. I think that most people wouldn't want to be accused of fraud. Now,
but he's not most people.
No. Does it look like, in my opinion, there's some fraud at TPUSA? In my opinion, yeah. Looks like a little weird stuff going on over there, if I'm being honest.
Looks like a whole lot of weird stuff's going on.
At a 501c3 or at a non-profit, you've got a lot of employees living very high on the hall.
Making $1 million, all of them.
That's unusual. That typically doesn't happen. Flying in G5s all over the country, that's unusual for non-profits, ladies and gentlemen. That typically doesn't happen. Most non-profit organizations don't fly on planes that cost $7,000 to $12,000 an hour to fly. They just don't.
Oh, this is a bad.
Or if they don't fly commercial, most of them fly on a less expensive private option. There are private planes that fly for a couple of $3,000. 25% of what it goes.
Oh, he has stuff up. Doesn't worry. I don't want that on my thing, though.
Probably the most absurd. Is this the most absurd one they raised? One of the most absurd ones they raised. It's also hilarious. The next statement is that America's Turning Point had ghost employees. The letter explains, America's Turning Point had 80 employees in FY23 and 108 in FY24. There was, however, an inadvertent error in America's Turning Point filing, which failed to note these employees, and America's Turning Point is in the process of rectifying that inadvertent error. Guys, what they're saying is, hey, Zach, you identified an error in our filings, but you're not allowed to talk about it publicly or we'll sue you. What a ludicrous position for TPUSA to take. You know how bad that makes them look? What they should have done is send him a birthday card with $1,000 in it. It said, Zach, thanks. You saved us a lot of embarrassment because you identified we had not properly listed the correct number of employees in our filing. You, sir, are an accountant extraordinaire. You, sir, are one of the best things that's happened to TPUSA this year. Because our filing made us look very bad. And you raised this issue to us. I don't know how they screwed up the number of employees. I don't even know if they did screw up the number of employees. But sending him a jack-legged letter, angry with him for identifying your problem and pointing out you made a mistake and that your filing makes no sense. You guys realize there's a penalty of perjury on these filings, right? These are tax records. People go to prison for these records if they're wrong. Zach won on this issue. And you're yelling at him about it? You're threatening him? What a ludicrous position.
So I was right.
Okay.
There was something wrong. They did put incorrect information on the 990 form. There
Take
were missing employees
3.
who were not reported.
Kimberly tries to
They have
screen
confirmed it.
shot
And
the
just to be
whole
clear,
thing.
this was not some minor mistake. This was around 80 employees that were somehow missing.
Yeah. They were off by a factor of 500% or so. That's all. That's all. In my opinion. In my opinion. I don't want to... Hey, let me say this for the record, ladies and gentlemen. I want to be very clear and on the record here. I've never given anything but my opinion relative to TPUSA. I've stated no facts. I'm an opinion bastard. That's it. That's all I give is opinion. This opinion's left and opinion's right. That's all I do is give opinions. I'm an opinion machine. I love opinions. I've never given so many opinions on a topic in my life. All right, let me go to the next opinion here of our good friend Zach. I appreciate him letting us know.
There we go. Let's see if that one's better.
This next one is
Look at this one.
whether or not Tyler
I look
Boyer
like I have something in
I
my
don't want to say
cheeks.
improperly benefiting. 'Cause I don't know that's the way he worded it, but unusual benefits relative to TPUSA.
The next statement is that donations to Turning Point Action increased from $10.7 million in FY23 to $27.2 million in
Try it again.
FY24, and suggested that Tyler Boyer may have been recruiting these donors away from Turning Point USA to undermine MAGA and benefit himself. Again, this is not exactly what I said.
No!
And I'm kind of paraphrasing of my statements.
Look.
A little silly.
It
They are
overlaps.
saying that Tyler Boyer never tried to undermine
Goodness.
Charlie Kirk in any of his decisions.
Hey, props
So
to
bad.
Zach for finding the worst picture on the
All right, we're on what, take 4?
Like if they're gonna come after you, that's how you do it. Like I wouldn't have done Tyler Boyer like this. It's too wrong. It's too wrong. But if you're gonna come after him, and he wants to put up a picture, this is the picture you find. I mean, I have no idea what's going on here. No idea what's going on here. Yeah, I've addressed the audio. I'm gonna keep working on it, guys. Dial it back. I think the problem here is I got the camera going into one device and the audio going into another, and apparently there's a little sync delay. But I'm not stopping the show and changing it for a half-second delay. The next show will be spotless, I promise. I'll just run them both through the docking station. I've got one plugged directly into the computer and the other into the docking station. So bear with me, we'll get it fixed. Just act as if they're synced and you like will be great. So props to Zach for doing what you do. Like, this is how political operatives treat each other. Here's the other thing I would add. Their explanation is that this is just normal spending in and around an election cycle. I would argue they've never had that kind of influx of cash in and around an election cycle. It's never happened. Like, it's absolutely never happened. It's a preposterous position. And it makes sense to me that Zach would look at that and think, you know what? I don't think that's right.
Chill with
That's
me.
one is my favorite. Because, well, I'm going to give Zach some thumbnail advice here. And I don't even use thumbnails. I don't know if you guys have noticed it. I was talking to somebody the other day. They're like, you're the only person I know that doesn't use thumbnails. Like, I don't use them. I got to create them and take time over it. He's got a show from last year called Clowns of the Year. Apparently, the people at TPUSA don't like being called clowns and are raising an issue about it. But I'll notice here, on the Clowns of the Year, there's a little Macron that shows up on the left-hand side.
And that is my opinion. On December 7th, I posted a video called Top 10 Clowns of the Year.
Now, here's my problem with the thumbnail. And this is not a critique. I don't do thumbnails, like I just said. But if you're going to say Top Clowns of the Year, don't put yourself in the picture. Don't go out there or something. You can't put yourself in the picture. I looked at it like, is he calling him a clown? So, that's my only thing, Zach. Don't call yourself a clown. All right, so back to
That's
the
cute. That was cute. You know it's
In this
cute.
video, I called Turning Point my #1 Clown of the Year. I talked about the now infamous interview with Turning Point's chief security person talking about the day that Charlie Kirk was murdered. I point out the massive contradiction where he says they were not allowed to fly drones. Then I show the interview with Frank Turek where he says he was watching drone footage with Charlie Kirk. This part is breaking news because I'm not aware this has ever been discussed. The lawyer in this letter says the following: there was no discrepancy. UBU prohibited Turning Point USA from flying drones for security purposes during the event, but did allow a Turning Point USA media production drone to briefly fly over the location before the event to collect limited B-roll footage.
Do you understand how damning that is?
Hey, hold on one second.
That is one of the most damning.
Alright, I'm back. Just talking to somebody about some videos. Not a big deal.
bill. Because someone monitoring a drone from, let's say, 250 feet in the air, well below the ceiling that you're allowed to fly. Somebody monitoring a drone would have seen somebody get on the roof. Immediately, I'm assuming they had one. Every event has one. The code word goes out. Let's say the code word.
How do I play? I forgot how to play this. Wait.
As soon as the guy on the drone sees somebody on the roof with a weapon, clown, 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 boom, Charlie's immediately surrounded and escorted out into an SUV and driven away. That's it. It's the end of the day. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. We apologize for that. There was a man on a roof with a weapon. That's the end of the story.
Oh, look, the guy's up there stretching.
If that's what happened. I don't tend to believe that's what happened. But the idea that you guys agreed to put him...
Let's see if I can do black on black. It does allow black on black.
You were not allowed to fly a drone during the event, but you were allowed to fly a drone before the event. And multiple people on the team have said, I don't like the looks of this place. There's roofs everywhere. And then you still went forward with it? That's ludicrous. Everything about that is ludicrous. Absolutely every piece of that is totally 100% ludicrous. Absolutely. And there's no explanation for it. It's breaking news. I agree with Zach. It is 100% breaking news. And it's devastating. We'll let you grab a little B-roll, but we won't let you protect a guy who has death threats against him. I cannot for the life of me, first, I cannot for the life of me believe that is the UVU policy. I don't believe it's the policy. If it is the policy, everyone at UVU needs to be removed, like even the janitor. Like everybody. The guy that cuts grass, you're gone. President, vice president, provost.
The guy who cuts the grass.
Everyone in the state of Utah needs to be relocated to Nevada. Nobody should be left in the entire state, if that's true. I refuse to believe it. But it's breaking news. All right, now the next one. Oh, hold on. I think I skipped ahead one. There we go. This next one's probably the other one where if I was TPUSA, how I would have handled this is I'd have just picked up the phone and called Zach and said, hey, can we get a correction on this? I don't agree with this. I think this is low. And I honestly believe Zach would have been like, let me think about it. Or might have just done it. But this is it. This is the... Oh, hold on. There we go. This is the only other one I think has any real merit whatsoever. This is about that 110 LLC P.O. box in the parking lot that Zach was concerned about.
On December 14th, I posted a video called Tim Pool Rants about Turning Point. They say these are false claims. Asking whether money sent to 110 LLC was to bribe Jay Kaufman.
So...
Again, that's not exactly what I said. They are complaining that I'm not allowed to ask questions.
What does he do?
I cannot ask questions about 110 LLC. I cannot ask questions about Jay Kaufman. I think those are fair questions to ask, given that Turning Point sends them millions of dollars as one of their largest independent contractors. This is America. I'm allowed to ask questions. But I think it is fair for Turning Point to also state their official position. They claim Turning Point contracts with 110
So look,
LLC
up here
for
like
legitimate
this.
services. The money you ask about is spent on marketing and advertising services. Any claim that it is a bribe is false.
So that's where I think they probably had a legitimate complaint. And maybe I'm sensitive to this because I've actually done this line of work before. And I've been beat over the head by a guy on the radio arguing with me about it. In a past life, we did a little political consulting here and there. Had a political consulting company for several years. And sometimes campaigns would say, look,
nice
I don't want to deal with
graphics.
these people myself. Will you just pay for everything? Sure.
So this
You
guy
go on
goes
TV
down
spots and radio
when I
spots, and
pull
you buy
from
mail and
here,
all that stuff.
and he goes
You know,
up
you
when I don't.
You show the expenditure to the place internally, but on the external, it just looks like they're paying you $500,000. It's not the best way to handle the money. The reality is,
So let's see what
it
happens
should
when
be
they're all
broken out.
gone.
Like on the campaign finance reform, on the campaign finance form, it should be broken out. It should say 100,000 to 100,000 to MSNBC, 100,000 to CNN, 50,000 for this, 50,000 for that, and then 50,000 for the consulting service. Whatever you're doing. That's the way it should be. And my guess is, if this was a campaign, they probably would have broken it out that way. But because it's just a tax filing, we don't really care how it's broken out. We just need to know the money's going out of our place.
Why was I thrown over here?
So that's the
Back to game.
that's kind of the situation that they're in. So I think
That was a weird place to
if
go.
they picked up the phone and said, hey, you're accusing this of being a bribe. Can you please tell your audience it's not a bribe?
This says
100%
wild.
It's false, and if you insist on saying it's a bribe,
So I guess I can throw that over whenever I need
You
it.
could just let them know that you talked to us, and it's not a bribe. This is just advertising expenses. I think he would have been like, all right, I'll tell him.
He said, all right, I'll tell him.
Straightforward, and like when he's made a mistake, he's corrected it oftentimes before anybody else even raises the issue. So I don't know why you would expect him to be any different. Why you would have expected him to do anything else different. Okay, let me skip forward just a couple of seconds, actually. This is
All right, so the snake is there. Let's see how high we can get it.
And I think Zach's right to ask this question. They have a full-time employee who's worked there for, what, a decade or more, and he's listed as an independent contractor. I think that's weird. You know, from the IRS perspective, an independent contractor, there's a test. You can pull up the IRS guidelines and you can look at the test. Is this an employee or is this an independent contractor? And if it's an independent contractor, you can just pay him cash. But if it's an employee, you got to withhold taxes, you got to pay your share of the 7.65% or whatever it comes out to for the FICA and all that. And it's weird to me that they're calling, well, I'll let him explain.
Can I do Ace? Uh-oh, he forgot to switch over to the thing. He gets mad at himself when he does this. That's so funny.
No. Gosh, I was doing so well. Every single time the video was working. Oh my gosh.
Can I go to
I gotta start thinking something else.
Kings?
Well, the lucky news is it was only 28 seconds this time. 32 seconds. Lord have mercy. This is the... Oh, gosh. All right, here we go. I'm not even going to apologize anymore. You're here. You understand that this is part of it. You deal with the technical difficulties. I spent all weekend setting up the office to make it easier. So that doesn't...
So if I put a jack... Oh, there's a queen also that I'll need.
Up again. I've gotten rid of 2 of the 5 monitors. I've gotten everything simplified up here. Everything's in this direction now, so I'm not going to be looking away. I'll see it if they don't see it. The screen under the camera will show it, and I will never, ever screw that up again.
So I could go 3, and that would be... But if I go Ace, King, I get rid of 2.
You guys put up with the sound delay because I didn't test it live, because I've got it tied into 2 different machines. You guys are so forgiving, so kind, so loving. And that's how I treat you. Here we go.
The second statement is asking why America's Turning Point lists COO Tyler Boyer as an independent contractor. Again, they are saying, I'm not allowed to ask questions. Does Turning Point see the irony in this? Charlie Kirk died under a tent with the slogan, "Prove me wrong." His whole college campus tour was about asking questions. And now Turning Point is sending out legal letters to small YouTube channels accusing them of defamation for asking questions. I was asking the question why their COO was an independent contractor. I think that is unusual. That is my opinion. Turning Point is now stating their official position. America's Turning Point listed COO as an independent contractor because his substantive role for America's Turning Point is more in line with the contractor.
So do I use the wild now?
Okay, maybe.
And then I can get these 2 clear? Or do I...
Not making that, but I got 2 more clips, and I'm not making that.
When I'm getting this far, I get rid of one of them.
It's more in line with the contractor classification. But if you pull up the IRS website, which I don't
no, see now it's coming back down. Look at the
IRS
snake.
Contractor versus,
oh, well, there's that.
Employee.
Okay.
There's a whole list of factors and elements and everything else. Does the company have the right to control what the worker does and how the worker does his or her job? Are the business aspects of the job controlled by the payer? How the worker's paid, whether expenses are reimbursed, who provides the tools and supplies. In other words, is Tyler Boyer bringing his own tools and supplies to the job? Are there written contracts? Are there any types of benefits? Employee, pension plans, insurance, vacation. There's a whole list of items here. Now, if they've done this analysis...
Maybe I should have done that wild. Well, here we go.
The proper way to pay him. Okay.
Okay, so all I need is...
The chief operating officer, he worked there for 10 years.
If I put this over here now, will this go on to the next one? Like, can I save this for the next time?
He's an independent contractor. That looks a little weird. It looks terrible. It is absolutely horrific for TPUSA to send him a cease and desist letter for asking why...
Oh, I needed it.
That's weird. It's just totally weird. All right, this one is the shell companies. He used the phrase shell companies. When he used that phrase the first time, when I was watching...
So I needed it, so I'm glad I didn't spend it on that ace, on that queen.
It just means he's an excellent podcaster. He's an excellent broadcaster. He understands what gets people to respond. It made me respond. As soon as he said the word shell company, I was like, I can't believe you said it.
The letter also states, more generally, you have accused the Turning Point entities of being shell companies. This too is false. They are arguing about what can be defined as a shell company. They don't want anyone to call Turning Point's multiple organizations
I want to go over
shell
and do the
companies.
piggies soon.
Personally, I do not agree that it is an incorrect use of the definition. Turning Point.
So let's just play a couple more games and then that's it.
A shell game is a classic
And I don't know why I did
and magic
this.
trick. So in my opinion, I think it would be appropriate to call them shell companies. But if Turning Point is so upset about the word shell company, I have no problem calling them something else from now on.
And I think that's a fair compromise. But I don't think he was wrong necessarily for using shell company. It's an opinion designation, but whatever. Whatever. I'm fine with that. All right, last clip.
Last clip.
This one's a tough one. Because
so Baron's totally educating me on all that stuff. Grateful.
You would broadcast a signal that would just fall like
when I listened to the Wolf in Finances this morning, the Wolf of Wall Street, I think he is. I felt so bad for him.
That's why I wanted to broadcast. I just want to be like you. Jesus talked about broadcasting. He talked about the seed. You know, some of it falls on the path and it doesn't sprout. Some of it falls in the weeds and the thistles and it gets choked out. And some of it falls on fertile soil. That's broadcasting. You're just throwing out seed into a field. When you're broadcasting or podcasting or creating content or whatever, you have this really difficult line to walk because you want to give the news, but at the same time you want to respect some semblance of privacy of the people you're covering. So if you want to show someone's house because you say, how can you work at a 501c3? How can you work at a nonprofit and live there? That looks like a mansion. Well, then you've shown the house. And if you've shown the house, some psycho in your audience may show up at the house, drive by, take pictures, knock on the door, yell, scream, throw dog doo on the wall. Who knows what they do? But, it's a fine line. Like, what responsibility does Zach play if he shows the house that somebody else looks it up? Plus, he makes a good point in that the address was already publicly available.
On December 28th, I posted a video called Shocking, Turning Point Fraud Gets Worse. They claim you recklessly repeated many of the previously described falsehoods and again directed viewers to the home address of Mr. Boyer, which has resulted in threats to Mr. Boyer's safety.
So...
And again, if you want to hear his explanation, go through it. I encourage you to watch the video. Give him the watch. Give him the view. Donate to him, whatever, because he's doing excellent.
So if I do 7, nothing will flip over.
And
if I do 5, 5, 4, 3. Okay, yeah, so 5.
But his explanation is...
Oh, we even got a 2 in there now. 4. Let's watch the snake.
On the screen. He said,
3.
Point people to the violence. And the violence...
2.
I'll put his channel up. You guys.
Oh, the snake didn't go up just a little bit.
Wolves and finance. Let me pull the whole screen up.
Oh, now it's going back down. All right, I have an 8. So let's try to figure out how to...
This is wolves and finance right now.
So if we go to 7...
But the guy does great. Truly does. Yeah, that right there with the Brian Cole video was excellent as well.
And then we go to 8.
Subscribe. Hit a like on the video. All that helps. When you hit the like
and then
on
we
the
go
video,
to 9.
It allows us to get greater
this
reach.
is a good run. Let's see if that snake will go up there. Then we go to 10.
It allows us to fix the audio delay, right? It allows me
and then we go to Jack.
Get the equipment to fix the audio. Now,
Did we get a king?
I'm plugged into 2 different devices.
No! But we got up. That's okay.
How
How many streak was that? Oh, a 6-card streak. That's not bad.
I gotta get in there and figure that out. I just wanted to try the new camera because I had a couple of days off. Because I've now retired from my legal job and with you guys now full time. Being here full time, I had a whole weekend. Basically all of Friday and all of Saturday here by myself, and I was able to get all this office set up. This is something I've been wanting to do for months, but I've not had the time to do it. But in doing so, I did not get all the camera settings exactly right. I didn't get the audio synced up exactly right. We're gonna fix it. This is a high IQ outfit. You deserve that. You deserve it. All right. So that is the Wolves in Finance TP USA problem. Now, I want to review the
Uh-oh.
And I don't think I'm going to pull anything up for this. I'm just going to talk to you.
2 kings I got in this. There's a queen. Okay. So no matter what comes up, I'll be able to use the wild.
Friday, and I was on the Trigger Smart, and Kelly and Brandon and Billy on Friday as well.
There we go. And the wild was left over.
It's difficult as a lawyer representing a criminal because the entire system is predisposed to not like your client. Like it or not, believe it or not, most people that show up for jury duty believe your client's guilty or he would have been charged in the first place. And that's a tough situation to be in. Because if you're behind the 8 ball that far before the trial even starts, how do you give your guy a clue?
Well, wait, I want to hear what Baron's saying, but let's stop in and say hi to Super Mario. What we're going to do is, my way of saying hi is I go fishing. So I type in fish, and we'll watch here.
I'm going to be making you one soon.
And I cast a line. This is how I fish. This is how I say hi. Give him some. There we go. Oh, ship bro man. He just went fishing too. So I'll go fishing right after him. Boom. 3 fishings and then I go. Oh, look at him building a little crotch rocket. What's this game called? Motorcycle Mechanic Simulator 2021. Who got that treasure chest? Did he get that ship bro man? Dang it. Whoa. Ship bro man. I wrote, whoa, nice catch. So this was number 2, right, for my fishing? And I got a green sea turtle. I wouldn't keep it because I feel I don't like to keep things. Oh, look at this little kitty there. You kitty, 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 kitty. I think her name is Jade or something. And here's my 3rd, and then we'll go back. Oh, and I got junk. I got junk.
You need some iron this class.
Alright, here we go. Boom. Uh-oh. I just heard the song he was playing. Gosh darn it. I'm probably going to get a copyright. Dang it, dang it, dang it. Well, we'll see. I'll have to cut it out. Dang it. Dang it, dang it, dang it. Oh, this is like a light box this guy is building. Alright, let me get out of here. There we go. And I'm probably going to get... I'll listen to the deer eating. Probably going to get banged for that song. Gosh darn it.
It's just a tough position to be in. So you try to...
I talked over it, right? So maybe I won't.
You don't want a jury to show up if they can, if you can avoid it.
Alright, so this is a 7.
95% chance your guy's going to get convicted.
Let's go 6.
And so as a lawyer, there's
5.
a sense of desperation prior to
6.
swearing in the jury, prior to selecting and swearing in the jury. There's this sense
7.
of desperation that sets in with the lawyer. I've experienced it.
6.
I've represented, I don't want to say many criminal defendants, but dozens of criminal defendants. I've done
That's
criminal
it.
trials in 10 or 12 different states, state court, federal court, military courts. I've represented people in different places. This same
King.
desperation sets in every time.
So we'll go queen.
Even if you think, I mean, I've gotten clients acquitted that I felt like we would get acquitted at trial if we had to go to trial. I still don't want to go to trial. Because the
2.
second you walk in there, your client's liberty is at risk.
4.
Even if you feel like you have a really good defense. And so it doesn't, I don't blame the
3,
defense
4.
for trying absolutely everything they can try. And that's what this hearing was about Friday. And it will be continued. They'll finish it later.
8.
But the hearing was, we have a county attorney who has
9.
filed for the death penalty. That's the highest penalty you can get in law.
10.
Like, we don't draw and quarter people, right? We don't torture
I didn't
people.
go backwards
We don't lash them to
because
death. We don't
there was a
strike
double
them to
that I
death.
could flip over 2 cards at once.
All we do is stick a needle in their arm. I guess in Utah they have some kind of antiquated means of firing slots, but I don't think we do that very often. But because the penalty is so high, if you're the defense lawyer, you say maybe we would get a better maybe we would get a better prosecution with someone else. Maybe we would get somebody who would not file for the death penalty. Maybe we'll get somebody who will not try to
Ace
kill
2. The snake
The only
hasn't
way to
made it
get to
up
someone
there.
else is to get those people thrown off the case. Now that doesn't mean that they're confident if they go to trial to lose. It means you're gambling with your client's life.
10.
Not his liberty, his life.
9.
And so they
8.
filed a motion to exclude, to disqualify the Utah County Sheriff's Department. And the reason they did it, again, the next county might also file for the death penalty. But at least you have a chance that they won't. And so they filed this motion because they saw something pop up. that
Holy
gave them
smokes,
a-
I'm really running
a
out of cards.
straight-faced chance to get that person removed, to get that county attorney removed. And they say, let's get the entire office removed. Because if we can get the entire office removed because of this perceived conflict, maybe it'll be transferred to another county and they
Oh.
won't seek the death penalty.
No.
Then we're in a little bit of bargaining.
Oh.
But I don't blame
Gosh.
them for doing it. In doing so, when you file these pretrial motions, you have a duty.
Yes.
You have a duty of candor to the court.
Oh, and I don't even need the
That if
wild
you
card again. 2
intend
games
to
in a
raise
row,
an
I didn't need the
issue,
wild card.
Then you will let the court know about it in advance. So you You say, I have a problem, and this is what they did. I have a problem with that particular county attorney because his daughter.
Why do we keep coming back here?
His daughter was there.
Like, why?
His daughter to the son because of the length of the. I'm not telling you any inside information.
Why does it automatically bring me back to this page?
Like 7 letters of certificate. So it's a girl.
He's stretching.
She was there. And what they say is, hey, if she was there, she's potentially a witness. She talked about it with the county attorney's office. And we don't know what they did with that information, so they should all be excluded. They should all be disqualified. Let's get a different county attorney's office.
So we're definitely going to this
So they
too.
filed a motion saying that.
If I get rid of this ace, I flip over a card.
Hey, you got 2 weeks, State.
But then I'll get rid of a 3-4 and flip over one card
And when you
too.
get that time from the
So
judge
let's get
and
rid of
you raise
2
the issue,
cards.
You need to put everything in there you intend to talk about at the hearing. And then the judge sets a hearing. And then they're going to talk about it. But we're all on the same playing field. We all know what the other person's arguments are. If you think they need to be disqualified for X, Y, and Z,
So let's go
let's talk about it. That way they show up.
7,
And they know. They know when
6,
they show up what it is they're expected to argue. It's a fair way to conduct pre-trial hearings.
7.
The problem
Okay.
with the defense,
Oh no,
what
we have
happened
plenty
on
of
Friday, and This
6s.
is why it was controversial. This is why I want
Gosh.
to take a second to talk about it, even though it's largely.
I'm going to use this 6 because it's over
What
2
happened with the defense
cards.
is they showed up and they raised a new argument that had previously not been raised in their brief. And their argument was not
Queen.
only should they be excluded, not only should they be disqualified,
2.
but they can't even argue the issue. They're too conflicting. Because what are they going to do? They're going to investigate themselves? No, that's not right, says the defense. The Attorney General's office should step in and investigate whether there's a conflict of interest. They should take over the briefing. They should be the ones in here arguing. And I think that was a vital error on the part of the defense. I know why they did it. I understand what they were trying to accomplish. I know the sense of desperation that sets in when you're representing a criminal defendant, particularly when they're large. I've never represented a death penalty case, but I've represented cases where the defendant's facing 30+ years. Then they're basically going to die in prison. So it's basically a death penalty. They're never, it's life in prison. They're never getting out. And so, they got
All right, here we go.
Someone probably recommended this to them at the last second, the night before or something. I doubt they planned this days or weeks in advance. Hey, we'll get
So
this
let's-
and then we'll throw this on. Someone the night before
If we went
probably
5,
said, "How do you expect that you can
6,
argue this? That's not
5,
right."
4, we were, so 1,
You're
2,
right.
3.
We should not let them argue this. I'll raise that with the judge.
1,
And that was an error. It was a mistake. In my opinion,
2,
it was huge.
3, 4. Either way, I
I
have
don't think the
4.
judge is going to rule it.
So I want to get rid of
I just
this
don't.
double. So we're going to go
So
down
what
to
they did was,
4.
The judge said, I'll reserve ruling on that. Let's go ahead and start the hearing process, and I'll let you know my feelings on that down the road. And
Then we
so
can
the
go
defense
5,
lawyer
now that we
reached
got
out to
that
the conflicted
5.
lawyer and started asking him
We can
questions,
go
and they ran out of time.
4
Got
again.
late today, and Friday.
We can go this 5,
So that's not
this 6,
not an ideal scenario,
Okay.
in my opinion, for Tyler Robinson's defense team. I don't
The
think that they're
7.
off on the right foot with that judge. They're certainly not on the right foot, in my opinion, with
8.
the greater legal community. I think a lot
Hey,
of
we
lawyers
had a
would
good
expect
run,
that.
7 card streak.
That's not how I would handle it. But,
10,
you know, it is what it is.
King,
So that's where we are on that. They'll pick up the rest of that hearing later. I just want you guys to kind of know that as this proceeds,
6,
if there's a hearing that requires a little
5.
explanation, or you guys want a little explanation, I'll be happy to jump in and give you a little explanation. I don't want to be in a position of second guessing everything the defense team does. I don't think that's my role.
9.
I don't think they're bad lawyers because of anything that's taken place
10.
to date. I don't know.
So do we
enough.
want to go, we can go with either of these. What do we think is in this card, this pile right
And
here?
it's a
So we didn't have many face cards.
it's calibrated
We
on
did
the
have a
way
lot
they see how
of
they-
rank
how they handle
cards.
everything. All right, second issue.
So I think I'm going to get rid of
Something very routine happened, and people are thinking
the 9
make a big deal out of it. It happened months ago, and it just came out publicly. But Erica Kerr
right there. Yep.
filed a motion for a speedy trial. I don't think that's remotely unusual. I think the state. I mean, it's the right of the defendant to get a speedy trial. That's a right reserved to defendants. And think about it. It works in favor of the defendant.
And then we got the wild card that'll pull this 3 out.
Think of
Okay,
the,
so we did good on that one.
These are not sympathetic defendants. That I'm not saying. Think of the terrorists picked up on the battlefield over the global war on terror. A lot of them sit in jail or sit in custody for years without paying.
So tomorrow we're probably going to do things a little bit
Would you rather
different.
have the right to a speedy trial?
Tomorrow's my
Would you rather
week.
go to
All
trial
right, let me-
and, you know,
Let
argue
me,
with
let
something?
me,
Give me a court date. Let me look a judge in the eye. Let me know what's going on.
all right, so he's still on a speedy thing. So tomorrow I have a bunch of things to list. So I'm probably going to list a bunch of stuff. And then you're going to watch me do cross list, probably. Like I'm going to cross list them between the different platforms that I'm on. I don't think I've done that live. Well, I know I haven't because the cross list that I'm using right now is a brand new system for me. So you know, you have to pay for an app. And I paid for this app. No complaints. I'm just going to use it for the first time tomorrow, live. So we're going to figure it all out. And I'm going to spend the morning listing things. And my storage unit, I don't get coverage at my storage unit. So I think I'm going to do like that Herman Munster kind of a... You remember when the Munsters used to run around at double speed? I'm probably going to do like a video like that, and then I'll come back here. But first in the morning, I have about a dozen things to list here. So then I'm going to take that dozen things over to the storage unit. I'm going to do a little tidy-in, but I'm going to bring back another dozen to photograph tomorrow. So tomorrow I don't think I'm going to photograph live. I'm probably going to just cross-list live, like cross-list between all the places. Here, let me pull this down for a second. So as you look at this is my wallpaper. I have my reseller places is like Whatnot, Two Poshmarks. I have a WooCommerce on my .com. I have eBay's, Mercari. I don't really do Facebook Marketplace unless it's so big and I don't want to mail it. But I'm going to pull TikTok Shop in. But that's a lot of places to list. And if I took all the photos and put all the things in by myself, I'd be losing so much time. I could probably do 2 listings a day. So my goal now is to get 14 listings a day, which is a little bit time intensive, but I'm going to do that for the next month, I should say, about 14 items a day. And starting tomorrow. So that's why I have about a little bit over a dozen things to list tomorrow. Tomorrow I actually have like a really I have to add the word like. I have no, just kidding. I'm gonna do all these dishes, and I picked up this one dish for myself because I just needed a bowl. And then I looked at it and I was like, oh shoot. And I looked at the back and I was like, another like. Take 2. Kimberly cuts out the light. And I looked at this bowl and it was a really nice bowl. So that was a whole full set that I just broke up. So thankfully I broke it up with a bowl, because when I got there the next day, it was at a thrift store, the whole set was there. And I know that somebody looked at this and went, it's missing, it's not a full set. So it would have been a set of 3 rather than a set of 4. So that's probably the only reason why it was left on the shelves when I got back, was that I bought this bowl. It was a big bowl, pretty like that, big salad bowl. And I went over and Mikasa, I think that's the brand. Here, let me look that up. See if that's the brand. Oops, nope, that's not the screen I wanted up. This one. So it was called like Mikasa. How do you spell Mikasa? Mikasa. Oh, there it is. No C. Mikasa. And it was called like, I forget. Hold on one second. I know, I wear different glasses for the computer and different glasses for up front. Okay, so this was called the Garden. Here, let me go to Etsy. I can just go to eBay. So it was called Mikasa. And then it was called Garden Harvest. So this was it right here. And I picked it up for $2 thinking that, oh, that's a cute bowl. And then when I got to the house, I flipped it over to clean it, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is actually a decent set. I'm a little bit sad that I'm not going to get my bowl, but it was a good find, because if you look here, the dinner plates, a set of 4, they're $25. And then you have the bowls and the teacups, and I don't think the teacups were this style. I think they were this style right here. But I got a set of 4, and then there was an extra serving dish in there, and it was less than $20. So that was really a good pickup. I only need service for 1 for myself, so I don't need to have anything fancy. If I could sell it, since I'm a reseller, I'll sell it. But there's my story. Lame story. But as a reseller, it was pretty decent. Like I said, I only went there for a bowl and went, oh my goodness. So this is 2 serving bowls and 2 cereal bowls. So it was the serving bowl that I picked up. So like I said, there was a serving, and then there was, this wasn't the dish. It was more, okay, the soup bowls. This is probably what it was that I picked up. Yeah, that looks like what I picked up. So there you go. And the set of 4 for the soup bowls is $16. And like I said, I got the entire thing plus some serving bowls for $20. It was a good find by accident. I'm so glad I broke it up. Somebody probably looked and said, what am I going to do with a non-full set? So thank goodness. Thank goodness they were still there. But if the whole set wasn't there, I would have just been happy to have a cool ass bowl. So I would have been okay. Alright. I guess that was a boring story, but I liked it. There we go. And I'm going to go back to the solitaire, and I'm going to go back to listening to Baron Coleman. I pulled up somebody else's stuff. What else did I pull up? Let me see something. Oh, that's me. Wait, why am I under that? I'm under my wrong account. Hold on. There I am. What? Don Lemon started a riot. This sounds like gossip.
Is a coward.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
A disgusting human being. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't believe what happened today.
I think I'm going to say that his opinions are not necessarily my opinion.
Is a coward.
That's harsh.
A disgusting human being.
That's about right.
An irrelevant piece of little weasel. This is rock bottom. Today, Don Lemon did something that I thought we could
change
not
the glasses
do in
back.
this country. Something we shouldn't be doing. He led a group of radical lunatics, the worst people
What's that
on the
mean?
left, to storm a church. The words can't even come out of my mouth correctly.
What?
Storm a church.
What does that mean?
Because according to Don Lemon, the pastor is pro-ICE. And they stormed the church during service,
No.
screaming at the congregation, harassing worshipers.
What?
Something I've never seen before in this country.
What? That's...
Don
What?
Lemon is getting exactly what's coming to him. Because the Justice Department, the Assistant Attorney General for the Civil Rights Division at the DOJ, Harmeet Dillon, is on the case.
What?
And this is a violation of federal law.
Is this on video somewhere? Please tell me you have this on video.
It's not free speech. You don't get to violate other people's First Amendment right to worship God, to go scream about ICE and attack them at their church.
I heard that people are breaking up with their
Don
husbands because of their opinions on
January
ICE.
6th protesters were
The
like
world has
devils,
gone mad.
The worst of the worst. So here's how this whole thing started. And then I'll give you what Harmeet Dillon is saying and the announcements from the DOJ team. It's not a protest, right? This guy showed up outside the church, started doing these interviews. He landed in Minneapolis, made a big deal out of it, and said this church that they're outside of is responsible for promoting ICE, that they're pro-ICE.
What?
This shameless little swine was in the parking lot doing these interviews.
Why they blocked it off, because we were able to come through and park there. So I don't know how.
White supremacist!
What's that gonna
This
mean?
is a white supremacist agenda!
Why do you say that? No, hey, dude, I'm
Don Lemon's just going for another 15 minutes worth of fame.
This is Don Lemon.
All right, man.
All right,
It's all right, brother.
really?
No, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So why do you say that?
He's on our team, so treat him like a real human being.
Is that what she just said?
There's a white supremacist agenda. They're not just going after criminals. I'm so sorry I went after you. I didn't recognize
Do I look upset?
There's all kinds of folks out here with me. They're not just going after criminals.
We don't have a wild card. Why don't we have a wild card? We didn't use one.
Any black and brown person they can find.
What?
Yes, so according to this guy,
Ugh.
ICE is out in
No.
Minneapolis targeting
Ouch.
every black and brown person. That's according to them. And so this is the moment
Please be a.
they run
No.
into the church and start causing mayhem.
No. All right. I have to go for a new hand. He got scooped up by a bird. They went into a church.
Not a single person in that congregation had anything to do with Renee Good's life getting taken. Renee Good got her own life taken from her by impeding federal law enforcement, blocking their vehicle, and then when they told her to get out of the car, which is a lawful order, she ran one over.
Don Lemon's just going for some attention here. He isn't anything anymore. But he should have put enough money away because he really did make a lot of money.
What do these people mean, justice for Renee Good? How about justice for the ICE officer who could have gone home without...
He got
who couldn't have gone.
30
His
stitches,
family was
right?
waiting on him, and he might have not shown up if he didn't do what he did. Don Lemon goes into the church interviewing the pastors, the church members. So the Center for Baptist Leadership posted this shocking footage from the city's church.
So you can see the protesters here.
That's Don Lemon's voice. He's inside the church. And I want to play this for you because and there's more information about this guy. At the beginning, I'll show you. It's actually really interesting.
Did I get up to 3?
So,
No, not
here's
3
what's
yet.
going on. Assistant Attorney General Harmeet
Not
Dillon
3
is
yet.
launching a DOJ investigation into this entire situation. And hear Don Lemon's voice. Just hear him in the background. And the investigation is into Don Lemon as well.
The beginning of what's going to happen here. When you violate people's due process, when you pull people off
When you violate people's due process, he's saying this about a church.
the street and you start dragging them and hurting them and not abiding by the Constitution, when you start doing all of that, people get upset and angry.
Okay.
Remember what the civil rights movement was about.
This time I didn't need the
civil rights
the wild
movement was
card.
about these very kinds of protests, and for some reason,
We're gonna put this on faster speed. I got a wild card again.
You got to be, cordoned off to to a certain area, and
Yes, actually, and I'm about to prove it to you, Don. There are restrictions. You can't protest everywhere. Not every venue is a public space or square. You can't run into people's houses, private property, church property, and protest. It's called the Face Act.
So what's this?
There's nothing in the Constitution that tells you what time you can protest. You can protest at any time. That's the whole point of it, is to disrupt. That's to make uncomfortable. And that's what we're doing. And that's what I believe when I say everyone has to be willing to sacrifice something.
Oh, here's one. Oh, it says buy.
So you're hearing.
What would I buy for us?
Because this evidence will be used in the courtroom. Like, we are hearing full proof that his intention was to go in there and disrupt worshipers, cause mayhem, cause chaos. You are hearing it from Don Lemon himself.
Uncomfortable people, uncomfortably, and how harsh people are being treated on the streets. You have to be willing to go into places and disrupt and make people uncomfortable.
Okay, so make people uncomfortable. That's what he said. Should I slap myself if I'm understanding this wrong? Let me know in the comments. Am I understanding this wrong? Did Don Lemon not just admit that he was in there to witness and to support a riot, disrupting a church sermon? Did you hear that correctly? Okay, well, Harvey Dillon, the Assistant U.S. Attorney General for the Civil Rights Division, deals with...
I should have done that one.
Things like this.
Because I should have done this 2 here, and then I could have done the ace and then the 2 again. Can I undo that one? Yes!
Freedom to protest.
Because then I can go to the ace, and then the 2. Boom, so much better. 3 and then 2. That was a good flop back.
Exactly such acts by federal criminal.
That was a good flop back.
Nor does the First Amendment protect your pseudo-journalism of disrupting a prayer service. You are on notice, Don Lemon. You are on notice. And then she reiterates on her private account that this is not protected speech. So Don Lemon himself admits, we are here to disrupt. We're here to harass, go after the worshipers. And then he gets in an argument with the pastor, and I gotta say, this pastor here demonstrated magnanimity and benevolence, Christian charity. Because I would have started swinging on this guy. So this pastor was patient and very calm.
What do you think of it? This is unacceptable. It's shameful. It's shameful to interrupt a public gathering of Christians in worship. But there were I have to take care of my flock. Listen, we live in there's a constitution, the First Amendment, to freedom of speech and freedom to assemble and protest. So we're here to worship. We're here to worship Jesus because that's the hope of these cities. That's the hope of the world is Jesus Christ. Okay, very respectful. Please don't push me. We're here to worship.
Did you guys see a push anywhere? Where was the push? What an accuser of the brethren. Please don't push me.
He just said, let me go take care of my flock.
What demon? Don Lemon is filled
and he didn't let him to walk away. I want to go back because this guy seems like he just said, I want to take care of my flock.
I have to take care of my flock. Listen, we live in there's a constitution, the First Amendment, to freedom of speech and freedom to assemble and protest. We're here to worship. We're here to worship Jesus because that's the hope of these cities. That's the hope of the world is Jesus Christ. Okay, very respectful. Please don't push me. We're here to worship.
Where did he push him?
Did you guys see a push anywhere? Where was the push? What an accuser of the brethren. Please don't push me. He just accused his pastor of pushing him. There was not a push anywhere to be seen. What demon? Don Lemon is filled with a demon.
We're here to worship Jesus. That's why we're here. Okay? That's why we're here. That's what we're about. I think Jesus would be understanding.
Look where his hand is. How did he push him?
If you try to talk to them, because everyone is willing to talk. Okay, I have to take care of my church, my family, so I ask that you actually would also be this willing. You don't want us to say, I'm here to worship. I'm here to worship. I'm always worship. I'm a Christian. We're here to worship.
Oh, he's a Christian.
I'm a Christian. 5 seconds ago, you're pushing me to a pastor who's just
You're pushing me.
There, answering questions in the most peaceful.
He said, let me go take care of my flock. What a nice man.
Some pastors, certain types of pastors in the South with a little bit more temper in them, he'd be getting slapped. Because you walk into this man's institution where they were worshiping God, you disrupt service.
So what do we want to do? This is the lowest card, which is a 9 that can go away. But if I do the 7, I can get rid of this 6. But see how far I'm leaving this?
Man, it's like some people needed to have gotten spanked.
I'm going to do the getting rid of the top ones, and I kind of feel like I'm going to regret this.
Passed an act signed by law.
Oh no!
Freedom of Access to Clinic Entrances Act of 1994. It amends the Federal Criminal Code to prohibit intentionally injuring, intimidating, or interfering with, or attempting to injure, intimidate, or interfere any person by force, threat, force, or physical obstruction, because that person is or has been, in order to intimidate such person or any other person or any other class of persons from obtaining or providing reproductive health services. So you see, part 1 is about abortion. Part 2 is intentionally injuring, intimidating, or interfering with, which is a very broad word, or attempting to injure, intimidate. So you don't even necessarily have to.
Oh yes.
Or interfere with. Attempting to.
There we go.
Is enough.
Oh,
so interfere.
We're gonna go with this 4 because it's the lower one, and now we know what we're working with.
To exercise the First Amendment right of religious freedom at a place of religious worship.
So they go together.
So you have a law that literally says you can't just storm a church. That law could not be more
Alright,
specific.
but we can use this wild card, and then we can just go 7 and 6. Boom! Yes, nice. But look how low this guy is. This guy's super
other people's
low.
First Amendment right. The people in that congregation
Thank you.
had the First Amendment right, their God-given freedom to worship God without
One
fear
time.
of anyone else attacking that right or disrupting their ability to do so. And Don Lemon did precisely that. It would be different if he was on a public sidewalk protesting. It's an entirely different thing to go into the church uninvited and disrupt them. And now this church has all kinds of injuries. Not like physical injuries, but reputational damage that's been done via this disruption. And to further cement that, Mike Davis, who staffed the entire DOJ with his Article 3 project, is writing to Don Lemon. You don't have the First Amendment right to trespass. You don't have the First Amendment right to disrupt church services. That's a federal crime under the FACE Act, 18 U.S.C. Section 248. Don Lemon is in some big trouble, ladies and gentlemen. And earlier I told you that this protester that was with Don Lemon is a paid actor. He was harassing D.C. National Guard a few months ago. And he is coordinating with Don Lemon. All of it is a
Do we want the 3 or the ace?
real. Look at this guy. So, very disruptive individual, attacking and harassing innocent.
Doesn't look like this one's going to go well my way at all.
And here he is at the church today. Again, who has this much time? Just think about this, ladies and gentlemen. Who has this much time and money to travel around the country, specifically to protest, impede law enforcement, harass agents and troops doing their job? Who has this much time on their hands? Unless they are paid, unless that is their job. You don't think George Soros and the Open Society have all these people on their payroll? Of course they do.
Christians, all these comfortable white people who are living lavish, comfortable lives while children are dragged into concentration camps. You're living real life, nice lives in your lattes, doing absolutely nothing for your Latino and Somali brothers and sisters. You come here to a man wearing a suit as a preacher? Did Jesus wear a suit? Did Jesus profit off the word?
I've noticed that demons love to quote scripture to Christians.
Christians.
Yeah, see? You Christians should behave like this, you should behave like that. You have families, innocent people. They did nothing. What did this young man say to him?
You are a fake Christian. Why are you not standing with your...
Guys, leave it to an atheist, demonic person like this to tell Christians. You're not real ones. You're fake. And this is the person Don Lemon is collaborating with. An accuser of the brethren. Lemon himself is an accuser of the brethren. They're all demons. You have to understand that. I mean, kudos to that pastor for treating these people with charity even after everything. That's what Christianity is about. That pastor spoke and did amazing. But you just see innocent families.
The pastor did a really good job.
Put this guy behind bars. Put him in the same cell as Don Lemon.
So we can go 7 and then we can get a flip over here. I could do 6. It's not going to flip over anything. But okay. I'm nervous to have that.
On the severity, of course.
These 2 over here.
Ranging from fines up to $10,000, 6 months in jail for non-violent obstruction,
oh,
10 years or life imprisonment if injury or death results from violent offenses, with stiffer penalties for repeat offenses. This guy's been doing this across the country.
So we have 4.
And a jury will convict him. They will see the video we just saw, and they will say, no, this is actually just wrong. You can't
4.
just go to people's church service and scream at them because you don't like their politics. You don't like what their pastor said. And that's precisely what Don Lemon and these liberals just did. I've never felt more... I'm actually just angry. I don't even know if it's righteous indignation. I'm actually just angry.
I don't know what this card is.
And it's not just Don Lemon. Tim Walz was pushing this narrative
8,
as well. That ICE
9.
was going to be working
It doesn't matter what this card is because I have a wild card. But look how far down.
So I would fully expect, and we are preparing for, an influx of...
So we just put this here, and then I can do this. Okay, so it's done.
And you got fake leaders here. I would not put it
Tampon Tim. They call that guy Tampon Tim.
Okay. Well, at least Tim Walz is saying ICE is going to go to the churches. Don Lemon was saying, let's go to this church, storm it, because they are working, collaborating with ICE, whatever that means, ladies and gentlemen. So what we need is justice. Pam Bondi and the DOJ. It's amazing that Harmeet Dillon was right on this, saying this is a violation.
Who's Harmeet Dillon?
And I know we don't like hearing the word investigate because we see the crime.
Harmeet.
Some investigations take days, right? Don Lemon needs to be charged.
Dillon?
As well as all of these other individuals.
Okay.
President Trump mobilized, I think, 1,500 troops.
Yeah, I don't know how to spell. I think,
if
yeah.
necessary in the next few days. And I think
I'm just going to write it like that.
This is actually
Google should correct me.
Churches are off limits.
Oh, it's a girl.
They're just off limits. You
What's
can't
her
go
name?
into any church
Harmeet
screaming in protest.
Dillon.
You see Nick Shirley at a Somali mosque with 100 people screaming about Somalis because even though we're not Muslim in this country, we have decorum. We don't believe in just, disrupting whatever they worship, a stone or something in Mecca. So this is despicable. You had innocent families' video being taken by this paid actor. Their video,
7,
like pictures of them going online, and they're being labeled as the problem in society.
5.
And it's because of Don Lemon. So the church needs
Four.
to sue. DOJ will certainly take their steps, take their actions. That church needs to sue Don Lemon.
5.
That's a violation of the First Amendment.
4.
So blatant.
3.
So, all right, well,
2.
come to your
3.
double.
9 Card Street.
God,
Yes.
people true. Thank you, John. Yep, God bless you and everyone. All right, thank you all very much for watching. Let's pray here. Lord, I pray for this church. I pray that justice comes from this, and that those people in that church do not get discouraged, but actually get refueled with a new zeal for you, and that they lean on you. In Jesus' name, amen. Because this is a scary time. Because if they can walk into churches and scream at pastors, you know, wave phones at congregation members, I mean, I guess we shouldn't be surprised. These are the people that will martyr you if you say something they don't agree with politically.
Wasn't he telling us all to get that experimental?
Pay your rent by hitting the like button. You don't have freeloaders, no BT users, no food stamps users, no Section 8. Pay your rent on this channel by hitting the like button. Good night.
All right, so we're gonna listen to Heavy Duty Country for a few seconds. I love Baron, but I kind of want to listen, and I don't want to banter over top of him.
I don't think TPUSA or Erica Kirk thought that this many people
Heavy
would
Duty
care,
Country.
would be interested as far as all of the findings.
That's who
in
this
regards
is.
To Charlie Kirk's murder, TPUSA, what happened behind the scenes, all that stuff. I just.
It's almost
it
time
kind
to
of
do the
amazes
guinea
me
pigs.
because, I don't know,
So
maybe they just didn't understand how much of an influence Charlie had. Kind of wild. So the first thing that I wanted to bring up, my
King.
God, this is sad. Allegedly to a North Korean weapons laundering shells. Same address, same agent as FBI seized companies.
What the hell is going on
Queen.
here with GGLF, Wyoming, and North Korean weapons and money laundering? The FBI seized
Jack.
3 Wyoming companies for funding North Korean nuclear weapons. Now, Charlie Kirk's life insurance
10.
company was registered by the same firm at the very same
Jack.
address as those North Korean shell companies, and it's still the same today. Now, if you watch my last videos, you know about GGLF 2023 LLC,
2.
a Wyoming company, which $350,000.
Oh, this will be a good streak.
That's the life insurance dissolved for $60 and then reinstated at midnight. But here's what I didn't tell you until now. In May of 2024, the FBI seized 3
Look,
Wyoming LLCs, only 3
2.5.
actually, and it's these exact 3.
We should go for the 3. We haven't gotten 3 tonight.
Culture Box, Next Meds, and Blackish Tech. All 3 registered by Registered Agents Incorporated. All 3 at the same address as Charlie Kirk's LLC, 30 North Gold Street, Suite R, Sheridan, Wyoming. GGLF 2023 LLC, Charlie Kirk's Life Insurance, registered by Registered Agents Incorporated at 30 North Gold Street, Suite R, Sheridan, Wyoming, with the same agent, same address, same suite. The only registered agent publicly identified by the FBI as registering North Korean weapons funding shell companies is the same one that registered Charlie Kirk's life insurance policy. And it's still there, right now, today. They never moved it. In fact, they reinstated it with the same company. After the FBI headlines, after the assassination, after everything, the insurance company was dissolved for $60, reinstated at midnight, never moved from the address that FBI flagged for weapons funding for North Korea. You understand, Kim Jong-un is connected to this directly. I don't know what is going on. Either this is the worst governance of nonprofit history, or it's just not an accident. You decide which one it is, but somebody knows the truth. Share this video because everyone needs...
I mean, look, for those of you who are business owners out there, obviously,
Is that
you
that
don't
Jenks
know
guy?
who
He's
works
pretty
as a
good.
registered agent, and that's a fair thing. I know a lot of people make LLCs in Wyoming and do business outside the state just because, I don't know, the privacy laws there or whatever. But
Okay.
I don't know, guys, I think for me, it's more just things keep stacking up, right?
I'm
They
not
just
going
keep
to play
stacking up,
this.
and it's
I'm going to
just
go back
harder
to the home.
Believe the narrative even more now. I mean, I posted a video of Eric
Yeah.
Size on
Okay,
Instagram today, and I had a whole
cancel.
bunch
Wait.
of people who were like, "How dare you?" And it's like, dude, it's weird. It's weird. So this is.
So I guess I have to play again, or I lose what I just went through.
Out on Charlie Kirk in 2023 by the company that this gentleman before this woman just discussed, GGLE or GGLI, and I want to put this in perspective for everybody. The premiums for this insurance were $350,000 a year. That's not how much the policy was worth. That's not how much Erica got. The premiums. You know what? Let me just see how much this is a month. I'm not a math whiz, so 350,000 divided by 12.
That was a good
So that is
streak. How many streaks? 8 card
$29,166
streak.
a month that they're paying just for life insurance. I just, that's all I've got. All I've got is a head turn.
An auditor named Brian Ferentz went through all of TPUSA's tax documents and found that in just 2023, a large
They're in a
life
lot of
insurance policy
trouble.
was taken out on Charlie Kirk. As you can see here, GGLF
Charlie, was his life
paid
even
$1
real?
life insurance policy for the president/CEO of Turning Point USA, aka Charlie Kirk. Annual premiums for this policy are massive, $350,000 per year, meaning that the death benefit for someone who is 31 years old and a non-smoker would be between $20 and $50 million. All of this information is public because TPUSA is a registered 501c3 nonprofit, so you can go ahead and look up this information for yourself. GGLF 2023 LLC is also owned by Charlie Kirk, so why do we have one business paying one of his other businesses for his own life insurance policy? Because it's a common tax strategy for high net worth individuals that comes with massive write-offs and deductions, making sure that the beneficiary would not have to pay a massive estate tax of up to 40%, meaning on a $10 million death benefit policy, that could trigger a $4 million tax bill. Remember, in this case, the payout is supposed to be a lot bigger than that. The timing of taking out such a large policy so close to the date he was executed is interesting, considering this was far past the time that he had nationally broken out and become a huge public figure with TPUSA. It could, of course, be because he got married and had 2 children and wanted to make sure that they were protected in case anything happened. But that's making an assumption that we know who received this money. Even though this tax information is public, how much the policy paid out and who the beneficiary is private. Now, one would assume it's Erica Kirk, but if it was somebody else, that would be quite interesting.
You know, folks, there are times when I'm watching all this stuff and I'm thinking, you know, maybe we're all just fishing, you know. I honestly would be relieved if there was no BS involved with this, but
no.
The amount of just shady stuff going on. That is a gigantic life insurance policy, one that is not given out often. There is usually a limit well below that. And for a nonprofit, the word nonprofit is a really interesting word because obviously people have to be paid to run a nonprofit, but if you're able to afford essentially a $30,000 a month life insurance policy.
I just want to see if I lose my stuff.
Erica Kirk got Charlie's trademark days after the assassination. Let me just play this and tell you why this is important.
And you're making hundreds and thousands of dollars every single episode. You want to keep telling me to come down while we're building? I don't have time for that.
Yeah, look, we know you don't have time for that because y'all are using Charlie Kirk's show as a way to make money. Y'all haven't even changed the name on it yet. It's still the Charlie Kirk Show. And you know what happened? If y'all go to the Charlie Kirk Show on YouTube after this, they get no views. You know why? Because it's some 2 weird fucks on there. I don't know who they are. I don't want to learn who they are. I think it's extremely disrespectful for them to be on a show where it says the Charlie Kirk Show, which essentially means that Charlie Kirk is running it. They're just using his name for profit, except it's just falling because everybody knows. I mean, if you look at the comments, it's always, when are you going to change the name? When are you going to change the name? When are you going to change the fucking name? But here's Erica Kirk saying that they're going to hit 5 billion views on all of their accounts. No, you're not. You're not. Even if you continue to use Charlie's name, you're not. They're having trouble cracking 30,000 views on a video on Charlie Kirk Show. Change the name. Change it in honor of Charlie Kirk Show. Something. Until you do that, people are going to be pissed off.
And it's just unfathomable, but yes, by the end of this year, we'll be hitting 5 billion within all of our accounts, which is incredible. I'm so proud. That is definitely not going to be slowing down at all.
That can't be true. So look, folks, this is all a very, very...
It's disgusting.
This hits home for me. So, I don't know. I mean, the life insurance thing is super sketchy. Erica Kirk doesn't owe anybody an answer, but it sure as hell is not helping her. And the whole, we're going to use Charlie Kirk's show until people just stop watching it. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's disrespectful to his legacy.
It's disrespectful. Disrespectful. We're back to Baron, and I have like 7 minutes.
That is something that King of England used to do to people.
Let's do a
The
Mahjong.
King of England used to do that. They would come in and charge political dissidents, and they would just throw them in jail and never try them. And in doing so, people would be unable to have any semblance of a normal life of freedom until the king decided to let them go. So when the United States broke away from that, they would say, we're not doing it. You guys have a right to a speedy trial.
Wait, why is it so...
Every state has some version of a speedy trial. Every state. Some are more strict than others. Florida's very strict. 175 days, I think it is. And it's like, you gotta go. Now, if the defendant can waive it because they say, hey, there's just too much information.
Yeah, but why am I on such a beginning level?
Now you get off the speedy trial train. At least the script is the speedy trial. You still might have some...
this isn't what I want to play, Mahjong Garden.
Waive the bulk of them when you start participating.
Yeah, I want to go away.
That I don't think it was unusual.
What is it called? Mahjong Sanctuary, maybe?
I've never seen it quite filed that way.
Is that it?
That's something that's fairly, certainly.
Let's play the game.
But I understand people.
Let's see if that's it.
Now I see people arguing about my hair. I can't please you guys. I've already told you I'm gonna fix the sound. I'm gonna fix the blur. I promise you. Now you complain about my hair. All right, guys. let me roll through some of these. Oh, real quickly, before I get to this.
Where's all the Mahjongs?
So I will not be here tomorrow. I'm going to do the members live with Coach Colin.
Mahjong
Coach is going to join me, I think, at 2 o'clock.
Garden, that's what it is.
We'll have a good time.
Okay, yes, that's the
maybe
one.
We'll go a little longer than that. Both of us want to be off the air before the Queen Bee herself goes at usually around 4 o'clock on Monday. So we will be off before then, well before then. So a couple hours max, but probably close to an hour. At some point, I will open that member live up to the rest of the people, but you know, the promise is, and it does help contain the chat a little bit, and we can have a little more Q&A with the members because it's a smaller group. But the promise is to the members is you get some value. You get to see things before other people see it. So that will happen tomorrow. That will happen tomorrow. And then Tuesday I'm off because I've been invited on another program, and that program airs before my program. And if I go on that program, I won't be able to prepare and get back to this program Tuesday night. To make up for that, because I'm trying to go 4 days a week, I probably will have to go Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So you can probably expect a Wednesday show, a Thursday show, and a Friday show, because I've tried to commit, unless something goes terribly wrong, that I will give 4 of the non-member shows, 4 free shows a week. So that is it. That is the plan for the week. For those of you asking, Candace is spelled with an A, C-A-N-D-A-C. That is how you spell it. Okay. So that
Who
is,
asked how to spell Candace?
This week. Again, tomorrow, Indiana game, everybody root for the Cream and Crimson. And then Tuesday, guesting with someone else that day, and that's the plan right now. I guess that can always change. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I will be here. Now, if something changes, and I don't end up on another show, then I'll probably do a show here Tuesday. I have my next 3 shows lined up. I already know what they're going to be. So, shouldn't be, it's not a prep issue necessarily. It is I have to be sitting here in front of things. And I got to get this camera fixed. I can't do the blur thing. It's driving me crazy. I can't imagine what's good for you guys. The audio, I see the delay as well. I see it's about 200 milliseconds, 250 maybe. I'll get that fixed as well. That's just plugging the mic and camera into the same device. All right, here we go. Rolling. What are the top 3 pieces of evidence that Charlie Kirk wasn't shot? For me, shirt moving before the wound, neck was breaking, no exit wound. Has anyone actually attempted to answer the first 2?
No, nobody's answering any questions.
On all 3 of those.
Well, I meant nobody as in, like, investigators.
Not in that order. No exit wound is probably the primary piece of evidence for me. Shirt moving second, and then neck was breaking third. I think in 1, 2, 3, that's the order I would handle those in. But no one has attempted to answer the shirt moving before the wound, and no one has attempted to answer the neck was breaking. I can't show it on this program because YouTube absolutely melted down the last time I showed moving footage of him being taken down. But I encourage you, there are 2 images, one from Charlie's right, one from Charlie's left. Both of them show the back of his shirt completely puff up, like my hoodie here, but it's his t-shirt. He goes way back before he moves. Like you can see him tense up in the back of the shirt, like a huge gust of air rushes into the back of the shirt.
What is your opinion on
this?
this?
The necklace breaks. That's before the necklace comes
it's
whipping out of
just
the
so...
shirt. That's before the neck moves. That's before his head moves. It's just the first frame where anything happens. There's a giant blast of air in the back of the shirt. If I am the defense team, that picture is on a giant poster board, and it is standing next to me on an easel, physical poster, not something on PowerPoint. I'm talking a physical poster board that is next to me during my entire opening statement. And that's how I would handle it. Because I think that picture is so devastating for the gunshot there. So devastating. It's, to me, nearly definitive that there was no gunshot. Or at least, there was something other than a gunshot. If you want to say there was a gunshot, that's fine. But there was something other than a gunshot, or the shirt wouldn't move like that. Let the discovery begin. Agreed. Request for the Joe Summer line. For under $10, you cannot be sued. I can't believe I said that.
He has such a funny laugh.
Yes. You guys have been here since Joe.
It's
infectious. You guys have been here
infectious.
since before the whole Joe fiasco. I am going to get some merch lined up. I have, again, my sister is coming to join me in February, and we will begin building out the structure of this program a little better. Right now, it's just I'm just freewheeling it here. Like I said, it took me all weekend to get the office set up, and apparently I screwed up the sound. The two worst things you can screw up. All the stuff you can't see is miraculously working perfectly. All the stuff you can see, the sound and the fuzz, the only 2 things you can see, I messed up. So I fall on the sword, ladies and gentlemen. You guys deserve better. Oh, we got a Scuderia Ferrari.
I kind of like that he's not, that there's errors. I like his non-perfection.
I saw some news out of the 4 rings. I saw Audi was doing the test.
Time for me to go. Let me finish this game.
I look for the 11th team, the Cadillac team to do well. I look for Sauber to do well, or the new Audi version to do well. I'd like to see if Red Bull can nail the regs and get Max back up on top. It'd be fun. Paramount has a show called Linus. Paramount Plus has a show called Linus. They've reached out to TV USA to do one. Okay, you got me. I didn't see that coming. I didn't see that coming. Maybe from your point of view, the room looks all new, but from my perspective, this week, the old bear and the periwinkle is weak. Yeah, I took care and caution not to move anymore. My wife advised me. She said, no, Bear. These people are just getting to know you. You can't redo your whole background thing. All right. But I mean, from here that way, everything's new. Not new. It's rearranged. Very little is new. She can't. Apparently I don't have it set up right. Room is darker. You look taller. You're wearing purple. The hell happened while you were gone, counselor? Did the tiny cat cake give you an obvious good refuse? The room's darker because I turned the light down a little bit. At the request of a friend of mine who said it was making me look washed out. And dare I say, someone said I looked oily with the bright light. So I did turn the light down from 12 to 6.
So gross.
Maybe I should turn it back up.
Oily.
I didn't know the brightness of the room was such a concern. I'm not taller. I'm still exactly 6 feet tall. So that is not changed.
Why did I click that one?
I'm dying to get a new seat, but
yeah, I just kind of like, I guess my
the
finger.
camera cost as much as the chair would cost, and I can only do one this month. So maybe next month I'll get a new seat.
My finger, like.
You're making the high Q fashionable. Now search for one. Always looking forward to your opening. By the way, my kids always get a big kick out of your impersonation. Well, thank you for the.
So we're gonna have to get rid of this to get rid of this.
All the way over there in the island.
Damn. Now I'm like really in a bad spot.
I'll be honest. A lot of people can do accents well. Every accent I do comes out Indian, like from New Delhi. Every one. I can try Hispanic accents. I can try island accents. I can try South American accents. I can try different European accents. They all come out Indian. So I don't do them because then people think I'm being racist. Oh no, I just don't do them well. Philadelphia Mint Blue Hoodie. You've been watching the coach. You've been watching the coach. What? Did Tyler Robinson have any social media? I don't think so. I don't know, but I don't think so. I know he had like gamer accounts and stuff too. If so, have you researched the writing style? I have not. 2, did you see the X post I tagged you in TT Whistleblower that said Charlie Kirk found out who Erica really was and the divorce was certain? I did not see that. I will have to find that. Van Allen Radiation Bell, always such a good commenter that I will go find that.
Oh, there, like I told you, I clicked that and I kind of screwed things up.
We might be branded as Baron culminating. Hey, if we're culminating in the biblical sense, we're not going to know each other biblically. We're just going to culminate with it. I'm not sure I don't want people getting the wrong idea about the comment section here.
I messed up. I'm going to have to start over again.
But thank you, Lynn Maria.
So since I have to start over again,
over here. We're doing our best.
I might as well
I wonder if TR would have been
say
arrested.
goodnight.
The FBI didn't expect him to surrender and had to scramble to make up a cozy cover story.
Have a lovely one.
Didn't help.
Gonna say goodnight.
I've heard that tape. That maybe the FBI wasn't expecting him to turn himself in. This from the Grumblers.
There we go.
September 2nd, meeting with Senator McKell.
I'm not going to go back to the game. I'm going to say goodnight. Have a nice evening. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you.
Are you suggesting that's
love you. Mean it.